In the next half of the chapter, in this class, we have to discuss about the periodic properties. What are periodic properties and what is periodicity and what about the details? What about the details of the periodic properties that we have to discuss in this class? In long form periodic table or in modern periodic table, the elements are arranged in increasing order of their atomic numbers. Here atomic number is related to the electronic configuration. So we can say that in long form periodic table, the elements are arranged according to their electronic configuration. And we have already mentioned that here the cause of periodicity is the valential configuration. The cause of periodicity is the valential configuration. Okay. But what is periodicity? What is periodicity? And what about the periodic properties? What about the periodic properties? When the elements are arranged in increasing order of their atomic numbers or electronic configuration, some properties are repeated at regular intervals. Regular intervals means what? The similarity in the properties are repeated at regular intervals. That phenomena is known as periodicity, and such properties are known as periodic properties. Right. What about the periodic properties? Look at the first one. Here, first one, atomic radius. Second one, ionization potential. Ionization potential. Third one, electronegativity. Fourth one, electron affinity. Fifth one, nature of oxides. And along with electronegativity, by the combination we can discuss electropositivity. Electropositivity also. Why? These two are quite contrast with each other. Here nature of oxides and then valency. And the last one, oxidation states. Oxidation states. These are all the periodic properties. These are all the periodic properties. What are they? Atomic radius, ionization potential, electronegativity, and next one electropositivity, and then electron affinity, nature of oxides, valency, and oxidation states. And here, first we have to know the details of atomic radius. What about the atomic radius? Here, in olden days, the atomic radius may be defined as the distance between the center point of the nucleus and the outermost orbit. Center point of the nucleus and outermost orbit. Later on, it was modified as the distance between the center point of the nucleus and where the probability of finding an electron is negligible in the outermost orbit is also known as atomic radius. I am repeating once again. These are the olden definitions. Look at the first one. The distance between the center of the nucleus and the outermost orbit is known as atomic radius. After some time, the same definition is given as the distance between the center of the nucleus and where the probability of finding an electron is negligible is known as atomic radius. But unfortunately, the two definitions are in vain. That means they are rejected, they are obsolete. And here, what is the reason for the rejection of the previous definitions for atomic radius? First one, reason one. In an orbital, the electron cloud is distributed to a larger extent. You know that infinity distance. Now you have to recall the concept of Schrodinger wave equation in atomic structure. What is the first point? In an orbit or orbital, the electron cloud is distributed to a larger extent. Means what? To infinity distance. And second one, there is no exact boundaries. There is no exact boundaries for the electron cloud. And the third one, it is difficult to separate an atom from a molecule. Separate an atom from a molecule is difficult. These are the important reasons for the rejection of the first definition. What are they? In an orbital, the electron cloud is distributed to a larger extent, means infinity distance. And next one, infinity distance. And next one, for an electron cloud, there is no exact boundaries. And there is no, that means it is very difficult to determine the outer and inner boundaries of the electron cloud. And it is very difficult to separate an atom from a molecule. Due to these three problems, the first or the old definitions for the atomic radius are rejected. But later on, the same definition is given as the half distance between the nuclei of two atoms in a molecule is known as atomic radius. The half distance between the nuclei of two atoms in a molecule is known as atomic radius. Example, let us consider a molecule A2. And here this is atom A, this is the nucleus. This is another atom A. And here this is the nucleus of one atom, this is the nucleus of another atom. And the distance between the two nuclei is equal to D. Distance between the two nuclei is equal to D, right? And here half of the distance means D by 2 is known as atomic radius. Look at once again. Atomic radius may be defined as the half distance between the nuclei of two atoms in a molecule. The half distance between the nuclei of two atoms in a molecule, right? But how can you measure the internuclear distance or distance between the two nuclei D? By using X-ray diffraction method. And the second one, spectroscopic method. These two methods are used for the calculation of the distance between the two nuclei in a molecule. And here, half of the internuclear distance means distance between the two nuclei. The half of the internuclear distance is represented or is known as atomic radius. But what about the units? What about the units that are used to express atomic radius? Here the first one, angstrom units. Second one, nanometers. third one picometers. What are the units that are used to express atomic radius? Angstrom unit, nanometer and picometers. 1 angstrom unit is equal to 10 to the power of minus 8 centimeters, that is equal to 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. And 1 angstrom unit is equal to 10 nanometers. 10 to the power of minus 1 nanometers. This is about the units of the atomic radius. 1 angstrom unit is equal to 10 to the power of minus 8 centimeters, and that is equal to 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. 1 angstrom unit is equal to 10 to the power of minus 1 nanometer, means 1 nanometer is equal to 10 angstrom units. 10 angstrom units. This is about the conversion of the units. And here, what are the factors that are affecting the atomic radius? First one, bond order. What is the meaning of the bond order? Number of bonds between the two atoms. The first factor that are influencing the atomic radius are bond order. Second one, nature of bond, means which type of the bond present between the two atoms, whether that is ionic or whether that is covalent or whether that is metallic. Which type of bond present between the two atoms, means here the nature of bonding also influences the atomic radius. Third one, oxidation state. Fourth one, coordination number. And the fifth one, hybridization. These are the factors that are affecting the atomic radius. First one, bond order. Second one, nature of the bonding. Third one, oxidation state. Fourth one, coordination number. And the fifth one is the hybridization. This is about the factors that are affecting the atomic radius. And these are the units that are used to express the atomic radius. What are they? Angstrom units, nanometers and picometers. 1 angstrom unit is equal to 10 to the power of minus 8 centimeters. That is equal to 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. 1 angstrom unit is equal to 10 to the power of minus 1 nanometer. Means 1 nanometer is equal to 10 angstrom units. 10 angstrom units. And here, the methods that are used to measure the internuclear distance are X-ray diffraction method and spectroscopic method. Right? And here, basically, there are 4 types of atomic radii. What are they? First one, crystal radius. Second one, covalent radius. Third one, van der Waals radius. And the fourth one is ionic radius. Look at the first one. Here, this is crystal radius. Based on the type of the bond present between the two atoms, here the atomic radius is divided into 4 types. Actually, fourth one is excluded in some textbooks, separated in some textbooks, and only 3 are given. But we can mention the fourth one also, because that is concerned with ions. As a result of that, that is getting separated. Okay, here basically there are 3 types of atomic radii. What are they? Crystal radius, covalent radius and van der Waals radius. And here the second one is covalent radius. And the third one, van der Waals radius. Right. What about the details of the crystal radius? Here, crystal radius is also known as metallic radius. It is very clear. Crystal radius or metallic radius is concerned with metals only. It is concerned with metals only. But how can you define crystal radius or metallic radius? The half distance between the nuclei of two closely packed metal atoms in a metallic crystal is known as crystal radius or metallic radius. Here, let us give some examples. What are they? Sodium metal, right? Let us consider the sodium metal. In that sodium metal, I have taken two sodium atoms which are closely packed with each other. This is one sodium atom and this is another sodium atom. This is the nuclei of first sodium atom and this is the nuclei of second sodium atom. And now, the two sodium atoms are bonded with each other through metallic bond. This is the nucleus of this sodium, this is the nucleus of this sodium. And the internuclear distance equal to D. Internuclear distance means distance between these two nuclei. And here D is equal to 3.86 angstrom units. 3.86 angstrom units, approximately 3.8 angstrom units or 3.86 angstrom units. Right. From this we can write the metallic radius of sodium is equal to D by 2, that is equal to 3.86 by 2, that is equal to 1.93 angstrom units. 1.93 angstrom units. And here, this is about the example for the crystal radius or metallic radius. And here we can give some other examples also. Copper metal. In copper metal, let us consider two copper atoms which are closely arranged with each other. The distance between the nuclei of the two copper atoms is equal to 2.6 angstrom units. Therefore, metallic radius of copper is equal to 2.6 by 2. 2.6 by 2. Okay. And here this is copper. At the same example to copper or copper metal. And here this is one copper metal atom. This is another copper metal atom. Distance between the two is equal to 2.6 angstrom units. Therefore, atomic radius of copper metal is equal to D by 2, that is equal to 2.6 by 2, that is equal to 1.3 angstrom units. This is about the crystal radius. This is concerned with only metals. This is concerned with only S block elements. S block elements, right? This is the crystal radius. Next one. What about the covalent radius? How can you define? Covalent radius may be defined as the half distance between the nuclei of two atoms which are bonded through a covalent bond. Example. Here, let us consider hydrogen molecule. This is one hydrogen atom and this is another hydrogen atom. Hydrogen, hydrogen. And the two hydrogen atoms are bonded through a covalent bond. Here I am particularly mentioned the line. Here I am not mentioning any line. Why? More generally, covalent bond is represented by a dash mark. So, we can connect the two nuclei through the dash mark or through a line. And here, this is the nuclei of one hydrogen atom. This is the nuclei of another hydrogen atom. Now, the internuclear distance between the two nuclei D is equal to 0.77 angstrom units. Therefore, covalent radius of hydrogen atom is equal to D by 2, that is equal to 0.77 by 2, that is equal to 0.38 angstrom units. 0.38 angstrom units. Okay, go for another example, chlorine molecule. In chlorine molecule, there are two chlorine atoms. This is one chlorine atom and this is another chlorine atom. Chlorine atom. And the two chlorine atoms are bonded through a covalent bond. And here the internuclear distance between the two chlorine atoms is equal to D, that is equal to 1.99 angstrom units. Therefore, covalent radius of chlorine atom is equal to D by 2, that is equal to 1.99 angstrom units by 2, that is equal to 0.99 angstrom units. And now, how can you define the covalent radius? The half distance between the nuclei of two atoms which are bonded through a covalent bond. We have already mentioned in the previous discussion or information, covalent bonds are formed by the p block elements, or the compounds of p block elements are covalent. So, covalent radius is applicable in case of p block elements or in case of electronegative elements. This is about the crystal radius and covalent radius. And here what about the third one? Here the third one is the van der Waals radius. This is van der Waals radius. This is applicable for the compounds which are existed in the solid state only. This is applicable for the compounds which are existed in the solid state only. Means what? Take for example, suppose an element is available in the form of gas. In order to calculate the van der Waals radius, you should convert the gas into solid state. Then only you can measure the van der Waals radius. And take for example, let us consider chlorine gas. And here in chlorine gas, chlorine molecules are present. In chlorine molecules, the atoms are bonded with each other through covalent bonds. And that is existed in the gaseous state. And in such cases, covalent radius, that means atomic radius of chlorine means you should mention this one only. Whenever particularly the van der Waals radius is mentioned, then you have to change your concept. How? That chlorine gas is converted into, or that means subjected to cooling, then it is converted into liquid, finally that changes to solid. Then you have to measure the internuclear distance, and half of that internuclear distance is nothing but van der Waals radius. And look at the definition. Van der Waals radius may be defined as the half distance between the nuclei of two atoms of different molecules of same substance in solid state. I am repeating once again, and that can be observed in the example also. Van der Waals radius may be defined as the half distance between the nuclei of two atoms of different molecules of same substance in solid state. Means what? That is applicable for only the solid compounds or existed in the solid state. And here, best example, the atomic radius of noble gases, the atomic radius of noble gases measured in terms of van der Waals radius only. What is the reason for that? Here the reason is they are all monoatomic gases. They are all monoatomic gases. So you should solidify the noble gases and then you have to calculate the atomic radius, and that is said to be van der Waals radius. Right? Look at the example. Now let us calculate the van der Waals radius of chlorine gas or chlorine molecules. Look at here. This is one chlorine molecule or chlorine molecule 1. This is another chlorine molecule. Here, in these chlorine molecules, the two atoms are bonded through a covalent bond. In this molecule also, the two atoms are bonded through a covalent bond. Now, half of the distance is said to be covalent. That is clear. Right? Now, this chlorine gas is subjected to the solidification or cooling. Then gradually that changes to solid state. Now, in solid chlorine, two chlorine molecules are come closer with each other by van der Waals forces. By van der Waals forces. Now the two chlorine molecules are come closer with each other due to van der Waals forces. This is the atom of this chlorine molecule. This is the atom of this chlorine molecule. Chlorine, chlorine. Right? Now, the distance between the nuclei of two atoms of different molecules of same substance, totally this is chlorine gas. In this chlorine gas, the two molecules are come closer with each other due to van der Waals forces. This is the atom of this molecule, this is the atom of this molecule. And the distance between the two nuclei is equal to d. Okay, the half of this distance is said to be van der Waals radius. Now, van der Waals radius of chlorine is equal to d by 2, that is equal to 3.8 by 2, that is equal to 1.9 angstrom units. Now I am repeating once again the definition. Van der Waals radius may be defined as the half distance between the nuclei of two atoms of different molecules of same substance in solid state. Here in this solid, the molecules are come closer with each other due to van der Waals attractions, van der Waals forces. As a result of that, this atomic radius is said to be van der Waals radius. Here the van der Waals radius of chlorine is equal to d by 2, that is equal to 3.8 by 2, that is equal to 1.9 angstrom units. This is applicable mostly for the noble gases. Why? They are existed in the form of monoatomic gases. And the noble gases are subjected to the solidification, and then we can calculate the atomic radius when the two atoms come closer with each other by the van der Waals forces. Then that is said to be, or then the atomic radius measured is said to be van der Waals radius. This is the example. But there is an important note. Van der Waals radius is 40% greater than, van der Waals radius is 40% greater than covalent radius. Van der Waals radius is 40% greater than covalent radius. This is very important point. van der Waals radius is 40% greater than 40% is there. Okay, approximately that means 90, above 90%. So here there is a common statement, generalized statement is there. Van der Waals radius is 40% greater than that of covalent radius. Another important point, van der Waals radius is greater than metallic radius or crystal radius. Metallic radius or crystal radius greater than covalent radius. Covalent radius. Covalent radius. This is another important point related to the objective questions. Van der Waals radius is 40% greater than that of covalent radius, and van der Waals radius, this is the decreasing order of the different atomic radii. Van der Waals radius is greater than metallic radius. Metallic radius is greater than that of covalent radius. This is about the different types of the atomic radii. What are they? Crystal radius, covalent radius, and van der Waals radius. Van der Waals radius. And here, objective point of view, to calculate the internuclear distance in case of the covalent radii, there is an expression, that is DAB is equal to RA plus RB minus C into XA minus XB. DAB, AB means distance between the atom A and B. Internuclear distance, DAB is equal to RA plus RB. RA is equal to radius of atom A. RB is equal to radius of atom B. But what is C? C is equal to constant. And what is XA? Electronegativity of A, atom A. What is XB? Electronegativity of atom B. But there is an important note. This constant C varies from period to period. How? Take for example, in case of second period, C is equal to 0.09. In case of third period, constant C is equal to 0.08. Constant C is equal to 0.08. That means from period to period, the constant C value varies. In case of the second period, the total formula can be represented as DAB is equal to RA plus RB minus 0.09 into XA minus XB. This is about the concept that is related to the different atomic radii, and this is the formula used in case of advanced problems. Next one. And now we have to discuss about the periodicity. What is the meaning of the periodicity? How the atomic radius varies in a group, and how the atomic radius varies in a period. And in this topic, we have to discuss about the periodicity of the atomic radius. Here, what is the sense of the periodicity? Periodicity means how a particular property or how a particular periodic property varies along with the period as well as group. Okay. But here, before going to discuss about the variation of the atomic radius in a period or group, it is better to discuss with an important term, that is effective nuclear charge. Effective nuclear charge. Here effective nuclear charge is represented by the letter Z star. Okay, for our convenience and for better understanding, we should know or we should familiar with the meaning of the effective nuclear charge. What is effective nuclear charge? Simply, that is the nuclear attraction per each electron in an atom. Right? And here this is an important factor which is used to explain the variation of the periodic properties across the period and along with the group. Okay. And here what about the variation of the atomic radius along with a group? Along with a group. Look at the first statement. In a group, as we move from top to bottom, with increase of atomic number, effective nuclear charge decreases and atomic radius increases. Example. Let us consider first year group elements. What are they? Here lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium. Lithium atomic radius 1.52 angstrom units. Sodium atomic radius 1.86 angstrom units. Potassium atomic radius 2.14 angstrom units. Rubidium atomic radius 2.34 angstrom units. Cesium atomic radius 2.56 angstrom units. What happened in the group? From top to bottom, with increase of atomic number, atomic radius increases. Here, atomic number of lithium 3, sodium 11, potassium 19, rubidium 37, cesium 55. And here there is another element, that is francium. But here, francium we have no need to discuss about the periodic properties. And its atomic number is equal to 87. And what is the reason for the gradual increase of atomic radius? Very simple. As we move from top to bottom in a group, the differentiating electron goes into different orbits. As a result of that, the distance between the nucleus and the outermost orbit increases. Therefore, atomic radius increases. Atomic radius increases. Means, with increase of the number of outermost orbit, gradually the effective nuclear charge decreases. Therefore, atomic radius increases. And look at here. Atomic number 3, electronic configuration 1s2, 2s1. Here the number of outermost orbit 2. Next, sodium 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Here what about the 2p6? And next one 3s1. What about the outermost orbit? 3. And in the same way, argon 4s1. Krypton 5s1, xenon 6s1. Here the number of outermost orbit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The number of outermost orbit increases. Therefore, the distance between the nucleus and the outermost orbit increases. It causes to decrease of effective nuclear charge and increase of atomic radius. This is about the variation of the atomic radius in a group. Okay. In a period, as we move from left to right, atomic radius gradually decreases. And here, example, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. These are all the second period elements. Lithium atomic number 3, beryllium atomic number 4, boron 5, carbon 6, nitrogen 7, oxygen 8, fluorine 9, neon 10. Electronic configuration of lithium is equal to helium 2s1, beryllium helium 2s2, boron 2s2 2p1, and this is 2s2 2p2, nitrogen 2s2 2p3, oxygen 2s2 2p4, fluorine 2s2 2p5, neon 2s2 2p6. If you are observing the number of outermost orbit 2, 2, 2, 2, and as we move from left to right, there is no change in the number of outermost orbit. Means what? With increase of atomic number, the nuclear charge gradually increases, and same time there is no difference between the nucleus and the outermost orbit. There is no difference in the distance. As a result of that, effective nuclear charge increases and atomic radius decreases. Take for example, lithium is the first A group element and its atomic radius equal to 1.52 angstrom units. And same time, fluorine is the seventh A group element and its atomic radius is 0.72 angstrom units. What happened from first A to seventh A? What happened as we move from left to right in a period? 1.5 to 0.72 gradually decreases. What is the reason for the decrease in the atomic radius in case of each and every period? That means what? In a period, the element with the larger atomic radius is alkali metal, and the element with the smaller atomic radius in the period is 7th A group element. And what is the reason for that? In a period, as we move from left to right, with increase of atomic number, the nuclear charge increases. Therefore, effective nuclear charge increases. And same time, the differentiating electron goes into the same orbit. Means what? There is no difference in the distance between the nucleus and the outermost orbit. Therefore, effective nuclear charge increases and atomic radius decreases. Here, this is about the statement given. And there is an exception. But in case of zero group elements or from 7th A to zero group elements, the atomic radius suddenly increases. From lithium to fluorine decreases. Beyond that means suddenly increases from fluorine to neon. What is the reason for that? Very simple. Here noble gases are monoatomic in nature. So, the atomic radius of noble gases is considered as van der Waals radius. In case of lithium and beryllium, metallic radius. From boron to fluorine, that is covalent radius. Now you have to recall the previous statement. What is that? Van der Waals radius is greater than that of metallic radius is greater than that of covalent radius. Here this is in bigger value. After that lithium and then beryllium and then boron to fluorine. But here in most of the cases or mostly we are giving the statement as we move from left to right in a period, atomic radius decreases. Here the reason, effective nuclear charge increases. Therefore, atomic radius decreases. Right? This is about the periodicity of the atomic radius in periods.